Hey, everybody, checking out the Mike and JD Show YouTube channel. Thank you for watching this video. If you could do me a huge favor and hit that like button, make sure you're a subscriber, and also comment on this video and help us defeat the algorithm. I would greatly appreciate it. And while you're at it, if you like this video, head over to patreon.com/the Mike and JD Show and become a Patreon subscriber today, where you will get this audio immediately as soon as it's done recorded, way ahead of everybody else. And then, of course, it will be ad free. Thank you very much. Now enjoy the video. I do want to get started by talking about a topic that I really like. You guys have no idea how much I don't want to talk about this on this show, but I feel like I have to. That's CM Punk. Hold on, it's not even 5:30 a.m. on Hawaii Standard Time, so swig of coffee for the working man. Yeah, dude, I did not want to talk about Punk today, but man, last week I talked about him, and on this show, and I talked about him on I did a separate video just for you, like a live YouTube stream from my phone, like just from my car for a couple minutes, and now we talked about him on the Mike and JD Show, the last 2 episodes. But because last week I started the podcast talking about him, and I was incredulous. Like, I was over the top, probably a bit obnoxious about how confident I was that CM Punk was going to WWE. I talked about it on this show about how Impact had no fucking shot in hell of of landing CM Punk, and I felt pretty good about that, honestly, when I recorded it and when I said it and when I clipped the video. Well, actually, I didn't clip that part. That was only for you the Patreon subscribers. That never made it to YouTube. Typically, I will unlock some of these live streams, like, a couple weeks later, because it's like, why not? Because you guys have already had access to the content, and I've already put the clips out there, so I'll just unlock them after like a week or so. But so that never really made it to YouTube. So it was really just me talking to you guys, and I even made a bet that if CM Punk ends up in WWE or ends up in Impact over WWE, I do an entire episode with my shirt off. So I still don't think he's going to be coming to Impact, but I think that there's a better shot now, and I don't think the door is completely closed, to be honest with you. Like, because he's running out of options. Now he still has his Cage Fury Fighting Championship, commentary deal. There's a writer's strike, so it's not like he can go to Hollywood right now. But whenever that comes back, he could probably go do some movies. But there's some rumors out there that he might be hard up for cash. So big stars that can't go anywhere else who are hard up for cash. That sounds like the perfect person for Impact to be able to bring in on some limited dates. So while I still think it would be a complete long shot for him to come to Impact, I don't think it's completely impossible at this point. As we know, he has, like, one of his closest friends is an executive in Impact. It's Lou D'Angelo, and Lou has been hinting about some not Impact, but has been hinting about some CM Punk stuff online. And I the thing about it is he would cost so much, and I know that he needs the money, but still, I don't think he's going to be putting his body on the line for anything less than he feels he's worth. I think he's got too much ego for that. So, regardless of his status in life, I think that it would still take a lot more than what Impact would be willing to pay to get him. But if they did, if they did, that's like a transformative moment in the history of the company, right? That's signing Kurt Angle in his prime. That's signing, Sting, right? Who wasn't exactly in his prime, but he's about close to the same age as CM Punk is now. But that's that's big time for this company. We won't be seeing crowds like we just saw in Memphis. If they got CM Punk and he's on the cards, he would elevate everything. In the short term, could he do long term damage to Impact? Yeah, like look what he did to AEW. Ever since he signed there, they had that immediate bump, and then for some reason, and I don't think it's completely his fault. I think he's a part of it. He's a symptom. But their business has been on the decline ever since that initial peak. And I'm just talking um, television ratings and and live event attendance, and it was like a big smorgasbord of issues that they were having over there. So CM Punk comes in, everything's all fine and dandy. CM Punk has the issue with Hangman Page. He gets hurt, he comes back, they have the brawl out. Then all of a sudden Danielson and Adam Cole are out. The suspension happens where the Elite, Omega, and the Young Bucks, they're out for a little while. And there's just so much turmoil in that promotion that I think fans got to be a bit exhausted by it. And the backstage drama was becoming more interesting than what's on television. And then when you have that, it's like a recipe for disaster. People stop to care about what's going on in your TV show. And you're starting to see some of that. And then now AEW has really pivoted the way that they present their television show, and they're really gearing it more towards trying to secure WWE fans. And that's what you saw this past week on Dynamite, where Edge was in the main event with Luchasaurus, and he's progressing his feud with Christian, and it's like a feud from 2002, right, that they're just rehashing. So they're AEW struggling a little bit over there. And Impact is kind of on the incline, but the gap between those two promotions is so big that you can't really, it's hard to compare the two. But it's not an apples to apples comparison, but Impact seems to be on a bit of an incline. And if they were able to secure a CM Punk and they managed him properly, like I said, you bring him in for limited dates. You don't keep him around for every episode. You can't do that. He's too grumpy. But you bring him in for the big shows and for big tapings. I think just having him around, getting people talking about the company again, which is something that they've been lacking. Look, I was trying to find some news to talk about for Impact, and I went to the Observer, and they didn't even have an Impact section. There's just nothing to talk about with Impact. There just wasn't a bunch of news this week. Last week there was some news, but this week there's just not really much. But if they were able to get Impact, or if they were able to get CM Punk, more people would be talking about the company, and I think that more people would watch the show. That's always helpful. And more people in the sense that he's going to bring over a significant amount of people that would actually make a huge difference to what they got, right? Versus what AEW was having. He brought an initial bump, and then they went back to normal on the TV side. But his fans are more hardcore, and they're more willing to pay for pay-per-views. And so we saw the pay-per-view numbers go up over there. And I think that we would see something similar happen to Impact if they were able to bring him over. Like I said, I don't see it happening. I don't think it will, but I also don't think it's completely impossible now that WWE has gone above and beyond to pull themselves out of the running by essentially calling up these journalists and saying, look, we're not going to bring him in. You guys can stop talking about it. Like it was that definitive. And so now, never say never with WWE. That's what Dave Meltzer was saying. There's a never say never attitude there. But as of right now, as long as Vince McMahon is running that company, and he still is, even though I think Triple H is actually, let me see. Can we go to that? We can go to that. So here, I'll go ahead and do a little share screen deal, and then we'll actually talk about that a little bit, because this actually is just now kind of dropping. So like as I was recording, so this is from at the Raj Giri, the bad tweeter himself, but he's just sharing news, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. Per Justin Brasso at SI on Triple H having full creative control without Vince's involvement. Multiple contacts within WWE and UFC have confirmed that Ari Emanuel, who wields power as the Endeavor CEO, is behind the change. Emanuel, who has long been a firm believer that in order for an organization to be effective as possible, people need to do the job they are assigned. In this case, that approach has empowered Levesque to exert his full influence in the company's creative sphere. That is very much a corporate quote, and I now I feel like this is like legit. I believe it's absolutely 100% legit now. That Triple H is kind of fully in charge of that company, and I think that's a good thing for them. So, but with him being fully in charge of the creative end, at least, you know, CM Punk did himself no favors with the way he treated people in WWE and AEW, and WWE just doesn't want that guy back. And look, and to be honest, they don't need him. They're doing just fine without him. Like we said on Mike and JD show this week, Survivor Series and SmackDown in Chicago is already sold out. They can't sell a single extra ticket with CM Punk.